大家好. Welcome to episode 1 of our Travel Experiences series for HSC Chinese Continuers. Today, we'll set a strong foundation by learning some essential vocabulary and sentence structures so you can confidently talk about travel. Our learning goal today is to understand and use key words and sentence structures for describing travel experiences in Chinese. By the end of this episode, you should be able to recognize and use 10 key travel words, describe a sequence of events using 先,然后,最后, and use adjectives to make your travel descriptions more vivid. First, let's look at some vocabulary. 旅行 refers to a journey or trip. This is a broad term used for any kind of travel, whether it's a personal journey, a learning experience, or an adventure. So when you're describing your travel experiences in general, 旅行 is the word to use. Next, 旅游 is more specific. It refers to travel for leisure, sightseeing, or relaxation. This word is commonly used when talking about holidays, vacations, or traveling for fun. Now let's talk about places you might visit. 城市 means city for urban areas. 景点 refers to scenic spots or attractions, the places you go to see and enjoy during your trip. 风景 describes the landscape or scenery of a place. 名胜古迹 are historical landmarks, sites of cultural or historical importance, like ancient temples, monuments, or famous locations. When you travel, you'll likely 参观 these places, which means to visit or tour them. If you're taking part in activities or experiencing something new, you can use 体验, which means to experience. It could be anything from a local activity to a cultural experience. When planning your trip, the verb 计划 comes in handy. It means to plan, so you'll use it when organizing the details of your travel. Sometimes you might go on study tours or educational trips, 游学. These are trips where you learn something, often in a new or different environment. On your journey, you'll also likely experience the local customs, 风俗, which are the traditional practices or behaviors of a particular place. You might also explore the 文化, culture, which could include traditions, festivals, or ways of life in the area. Lastly, your overall experience, the things you go through, learn, and remember from your travels, is called 经历. Recap of key terms. 旅行 journey, trip. 旅游 to travel, for leisure. 城市 city. 景点 scenic spots, attractions. 风景 landscape. 名胜古迹 historical landmarks. 参观 to visit or tour. 体验 to experience. 游学 study tours, educational trips. 风俗 customs. 文化 culture. 计划 to plan. 经历 experience. Here's an example sentence using some of these words. 我喜欢旅行，特别是去城市参观景点，体验当地文化。I like traveling, especially visiting city attractions and experiencing local culture. Now let's move on to describing a sequence of events. This is really useful when talking about a trip. We use the structure 先,然后,最后, which means first, then, finally. For example, 我先去了悉尼歌剧院，然后参观了海港大桥，最后在邦地海滩玩了一下午。 I first went to the Sydney Opera House, then visited the Harbour Bridge, and finally had fun at Bondi Beach for an afternoon. Let's look at another example. 我先去了长城，然后参观了故宫，最后在颐和园散步。I first went to the Great Wall, then visited the Forbidden City, and finally took a walk in the Summer Palace. You can also just use 先然后 if you only have two main steps, or string several 然后 together before the final step. Now try making your own 先然后最后 sentence. Now let's learn how to make your sentences more vivid and expressive using adjectives. In Chinese, when we use an adjective to describe a noun, we usually add the after the adjective. This the works a bit like as or of in English. It connects the describing word with the noun. For example, 美丽的风景 means beautiful scenery. 难忘的回忆 means unforgettable memories. 有趣的体验 means interesting experiences. Let's look at how we can use them in full sentences. 这是一个美丽的景点. This is a beautiful scenic spot. 我有很多有趣的经历. I have many interesting experiences. Here are some other useful adjectives to describe your travel experiences. 美丽的 beautiful. 难忘的 unforgettable. 有趣的 interesting. 精彩的 wonderful, brilliant. 特别的 special. 无聊的 boring. Now it's your turn. Describe 3 things using the adjective plus the structure. So, to recap, today we've covered 10 essential travel words, learned how to describe sequences with 先,然后,最后, and practiced making our sentences more vivid with adjectives. Now let's check back on our success criteria. You should now be able to recognize and use 10 travel words, describe a sequence of events using 先,然后,最后, and form descriptive sentences with adjectives. If you can do all that, well done. Now it's time to put it into practice. Core task: write 3 to 4 sentences about a short trip you took. Use at least 3 vocabulary words and the structure 先,然后,最后. Extension task: add at least 2 adjectives like 美丽的 or 有趣的 to make your story more engaging. That's it for episode 1. Next time, we'll explore more descriptive vocabulary and learn how to express your feelings about travel. 继续加油，再见。